This is something that is going to torment me forever.
This is the first time John Marks has ever spoken publicly about the investigation that he says nearly destroyed his life.
I was just like totally distraught, confused, afraid, and I'm not afraid of much. But the message is bigger than me. It's bigger than Freddie. Nobody needs to go through this. Nobody.
So imagine that you just moved into a town. You don't really know anyone. You moved into this cool neighborhood and you got cool neighbors. Everyone's chill. And you see this little honey dip across the street that's giving you choosing signals. So you start hollering at her. Everything's going smooth. You guys are hitting it off pretty well. You start dating for a few months. And then you figure your friend's here. He works for the police department. And you decide to throw a housewarming party. And with this housewarming party, all is well. You invite her over because you're dating with her. You know that she's a little on the wild side. So you decide, hey, I got a friend that is coming over to my housewarming party. We're going to head out to this game. Why don't you come by later on for a late night skinny dip in the pool and hang out with us? Yeah, that would be cool. And then you guys go to the game and you come back and then you get yourselves involved in a Clap-a-Thon, a three-way with this young tenderoni. I wouldn't say quite young because she's 40. And the next thing you know, all hell breaks loose. Guys, this is the story that I'm about to tell you of what just happened with these two brothers and this white woman. And it is one of those stories that you've heard about throughout history since the days of slavery, To Kill a Mockingbird, Emmett Till. You've seen it on Rosewood if you guys have ever seen that movie. And this is not something to joke about, and definitely what ended up happening, it changed these guys' lives altogether. It completely ruined these guys' lives based upon one night of fun. So guys, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Who I'm talking about here are two friends. 40-year-old John Marks and 43-year-old Freddie Douglas. Now, Freddie Douglas is a police officer for the El Campo Police Department. He was a 13-year veteran before this situation happened. And this all occurs within the town of Manvel, Texas, which is just outside of Houston. Shout out to Houston. So April 2023, John Marks moves into his new home and he quickly hits it off with his neighbor who lives across the street, who I'll call Amanda Z because I can't pronounce her last name. So they're dating for a few months, for lack of a better term, and he decides to actually throw a housewarming party. And at this housewarming party, everybody shows up, all his friends, people throughout the neighborhood, and his friend, Freddie Douglas, shows up, as I said, who is a veteran police officer for the El Campo Police Department. So she shows up with cupcakes early, all is well. And they had plans after the housewarming party, the two friends, to go to a Houston Rockets game. And they made plans with Amanda to rendezvous later at his pool, where they would have a night of fun and drinks. So that's basically what ended up happening. They ended up having a night of fun and drinks, had a Clap-a-Thon between the three of them, a three-way. She got desecrated and she left. This occurred November 9th, 2023. On the fateful day of December 7th, 2023, both men were charged and arrested based upon Amanda filing a report with the police department saying that they did the R word to her. Now, luckily for John Marks, he had a security system installed in his house. He had cameras inside and outside, which captured the entire Clap-a-Thon, which ultimately worked out in his favor, but that didn't stop him from being charged, along with police officer, his friend, Freddie Douglas, being charged, and them both having to be attacked and have this stigma of being R words all of this time. Freddie Gibbs, who has two children, had to actually sell his house. He lost his job. Regardless of John Marks saying that he had footage that shows that it was consensual, they weren't trying to hear it. They basically just brushed him off. It was like, we don't care what you got going on. It is what it is. We're going to charge you, and basically charge both of these men. And that's the way the criminal justice system is. If someone says something, especially if a woman says something, and the climate, the world that we're in now, if it's a white woman, as a black man, you're pretty much done. So They had to wait to be charged. Obviously, at one point, the police officer, Freddie Douglas, couldn't work. He had to sell his house and everything. Life completely ruined based upon this. And the cops proceeded forward, presented it to the DA. The DA presented it to the grand jury, and because of the footage, they were exonerated. Now, one thing I would be frightened about is that they would be trying, because that's how I think, they'd be trying to delete the footage. And I know there's some way, if you have a system or security system, they back up all these things, or they're supposed to back up these things. But one thing I would be frightened of is that what if they did do this? And the fact that this woman would go this far. And a lot of times these things are precipitated by the fact of you may not be returning phone calls, you may not be responding to her, all types of things that would make her just go off the deep end and just accuse you two of this. So she had a month to go to deal with this, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I'm pretty sure he didn't see any signs coming about other than maybe he might have ignored her or didn't answer her call, or he didn't do something that she wanted him to do. And here he is, he ends up in a jail cell. But the beauty of it is that ultimately the charges were dismissed. The grand jury didn't indict them. But what happens when you get these accusations, it completely ruins your reputation. And both men are suing the county and the Manvel Police Department for this because of due process. The reasons they state for suing was slander, violation of their civil rights, and malicious prosecution. And guess what, guys? To put a cherry on top of all of this, guess who won't be prosecuted for filing a false report? You guessed it, because where we're at in this world, women don't get prosecuted for filing false reports, regardless of a man's whole world, whole life being destroyed, because it would deter other women from filing. So that's how great our justice system is when it comes to things like this. And you would think that a lot of people will put themselves in the position or do their due diligence, especially when someone says, hey, I have footage showing this. That's where the detective work comes in. Why would it even make it to the actual arrest and grand jury, especially if you have, hey, I have a video right here showing this is a consensual clapping. But hey, man, shout out to these brothers, as they should sue the pants off these guys and get a hefty settlement, regardless of the foolishness that they had to endure. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about this video. Comment below, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next videos. It's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. Listen, it's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. Let's run it up to 1 million. I'm the best. Quit playing with me. Peace.
Yeah. 50 Cent. 50. Part 2. Bring it back. Yeah. Can't forget Tony. 50. UK.